Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today, we're unpacking a truly game-changing educational concept. I mean, we've all heard that classic, beautiful proverb, right? It takes a village to raise a child. But let's be real for a second. How often do we actually invite that village inside the four walls of our classrooms? If you're an early childhood educator, an admin, or just someone deeply invested in how we shape the next generation, you know firsthand just how exhausting and demanding teaching can be. Well, today, we're diving into the source material to explore exactly how bringing local community members into the fold can completely transform the learning experience. And spoiler alert, it's not just amazing for the kids, it's a massive win for you as the educator, too. So let's quickly lay out what we're going to achieve in today's explainer. It's all about community engagement. By the time we wrap up, we're going to have a rock-solid understanding of why this involvement is absolutely critical. We'll look at how to actually plan activities with the community, how to apply practical, boots-on-the-ground strategies, and finally, how to evaluate the real-world impact these programs have on our students. Basically, it's a complete guide to taking your classroom into the real world and bringing the real world right back into your classroom. I really want you to think about this question for a second. Does the task of educating a child rest solely on the teacher's shoulders? For generations, our traditional model has kind of isolated the teacher, right? It places the entire burden of a child's academic and social development squarely on your desk. But the material we're looking at today challenges that old-school isolated model head-on. It forces us to take a step back and completely rethink who is actually responsible for education. To answer that, here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with an introduction to community-based learning, talk about why the community is so crucial, look at the direct benefits to children, and then the benefits and roles of teachers before zooming out to look at the comprehensive educational ecosystem. All right, Section 1, Introduction to Community-Based Learning. Let's dive right in and define who the key players actually are here. When we hear school-community partnership, our brains usually just jump straight to parents and guardians, right? But we really need to expand that view. We have to move past just isolated individuals and start thinking about a massive interconnected ecosystem. We're talking about linking arms with non-governmental organizations, local businesses, and specialized professionals in your area. It's literally about taking the whole neighborhood and forming this unified, impenetrable support system right around the child. So how do we actually define this? Community-based learning is an approach that actively involves the local community in children's learning experiences. And I really want to hit hard on those two words, actively involves. This isn't just about dragging a guest speaker in once a year while the students sit there passively. No, this is an active, dynamic, continuous integration of the community into the absolute fabric of how your kids experience learning. Section 2. Why is the community so important? Which brings us to the very natural question. Why should we even bother? Our classrooms are carefully managed, predictable spaces. Why invite the unpredictability of the outside world in? Well, the source material gives us 4 foundational pillars that answer this perfectly. First, the community is an amazing source of authentic learning. It takes boring theoretical concepts and grounds them in actual reality. Second, they're a strategic partner. They have resources, spaces, and specialized knowledge that a single school, no matter how many bake sales you run, just cannot have. Third, they act as a vital socialization agent. Kids need to learn how to interact with different generations and different professions. And fourth, the community is a crucial supporter of holistic development. Kids aren't just memorizing facts, they are literally learning how to exist in society. Moving on to Section 3, Benefits to Children. Let's get into the emotional core of this explainer, the whole reason we get up and do this work every day. When we actually apply these strategies, we see a profound transformation in our students. The curriculum just comes to life. And when kids learn in a real-world context, this beautiful domino effect happens. Navigating real-life situations naturally skyrockets their self-confidence. That confidence empowers them to develop robust social communication skills way outside their normal peer group. And finally, by interacting with all these diverse community members, they naturally cultivate empathy and a deep sense of social responsibility. They start to realize, wow, I'm part of something much bigger than myself. Section 4, Benefits and Roles of Teachers. Now, as educators, I know exactly what you might be thinking right now. Okay, this sounds amazing for the kids, but it kind of sounds like a whole lot of extra work for me. Let's completely flip that perspective. While the kids are reaping all these immense benefits, this approach is simultaneously working absolute magic for you. Instead of adding more to your already overflowing plate, it actually lightens your burden. It opens up collaboration and lets you share expertise with outside partners. You aren't carrying the entire weight of the curriculum all by yourself anymore. The community is stepping in to help shoulder that load. But of course, to unlock this lighter workload and this rich, collaborative environment, the traditional role of the teacher has to shift a bit. You're not just the person lecturing at the front of the room anymore. You have to wear 4 specific new hats. First up, you become a program planner. You're designing exactly how this community interaction fits into your curriculum. Second, you're the community liaison. You are the bridge connecting the school to these outside partners. Third, you transition into a learning facilitator. You don't have to be the one delivering all the facts. You're just guiding the students as they learn directly from the community. And fourth, and this is absolutely crucial, you remain the safety and ethics monitor. You're making sure that even as the walls of the classroom expand, the environment stays secure, appropriate, and beneficial for the kids. And listen, these roles completely rely on this being a true two-way street. The learning has to stay authentic, both sides need to be actively involved, the cooperation is mutual, so it's not just the school asking for favors, and the whole focus remains on solving real-world problems. When you facilitate learning through these 4 principles, that is when the magic really happens. Section 5. A comprehensive educational ecosystem. Let's move into our final section and zoom out for the big picture. When you successfully pull the community into your orbit, you create this incredible collective ecosystem. The source material points out that this ecosystem builds incredibly strong social values, a profound sense of belonging, and real cultural understanding among the kids. It fundamentally shifts the entire paradigm. It proves that education is a collective, shared effort, not just an isolated job done behind a closed classroom door. And honestly, as a fantastic byproduct of all this transparency and collaboration, parental and community trust in your school goes through the roof. That is the school-community relationship in a nutshell. No single person holds the whole thing together on their own. It's like a giant puzzle. By linking together parents, teachers, local businesses, experts, we share the burden, and we massively, massively amplify the results. We are supporting holistic development and contextual learning together. Which brings us to the end of our explainer, and it leaves us with one final, incredibly important question based on everything we've uncovered today. You've seen the profound benefits for the children. You know the incredible support it offers you as an educator, and you understand the massive positive ripple effect it has on society. So the only thing left to ask yourself is, are you ready to break down those traditional walls and invite the village into your classroom? Thank you so much for joining me today, and happy teaching.